excited to welcome back MBK, Michael from Coupa. Thank you so much for joining me again today.
Excited.
How are you?
Me too. We're doing really well.
Yeah, so talk to us about day one. What was day one like for you? What conversations were you having?
Yeah, so I first of all, shout out to Matthias and the entire DPW team for organizing such an incredible event. Really impressed. My first time here. The audience, the attendees, all the tech that's out there, it's just incredible. So first of all, just wanted to do shout out to DPW. I think in general, what I've been seeing is, of course, all these investments that are happening and all this innovation in technology.
Yep.
Working for Coupa, of course, we've been in this space for over a decade. We know that it's all about people, process, and technology. Spoke to a lot of great people here, a lot of visionary CPOs that know what they need and know how to really empower their teams with the right tools and the right solutions. So excited about that, but especially all the innovation that's happening at the point solution side. It's just exciting to see. We embrace it. We have many applications in our marketplace, and it's just exciting to see that constant development, because that's what we need, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we need the people, we need the process, but we definitely need the technology, and to see that yesterday and today is just exciting.
Yeah, well, and everybody's coming with an open mind.
Absolutely.
Everybody's ready to have conversations with each other and see what technology is out there and how do we get excited for the future? What's new? What's coming up, right?
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of that. And so what excites you about the future of procurement?
Yeah, I think that, the past 10 years, we've always tried to get what a lot of practitioners always refer to as seat at the table, right? And I think what the last 3-4 years have done, either you have the seat at the table, or you may need to reconsider the profession you're in, right? And it sounds a little harsh, but I really believe we have the seat, we've earned it, we've grabbed it, we've owned it. And so now it's up to us to continuously drive more value up the supply chain, whether that's upstream in sourcing and contracting, whether it's downstream with compliance and governance and control and visibility, whether that's through some of the applications that we, for example, would have on the periphery around analytics, ESG, diversity, all the legislation that's coming. I mean, we are at the heart of that, and so I am just excited that procurement is there, and we are right at the center of all these conversations that are happening around the globe, and I see this everywhere. I know practitioners across the globe, and everyone is talking about the same stuff. And it's really about how do we remain relevant and how do we continuously support our companies to go forward in their strategic objectives, whatever they are.
Yeah,
and so that's great.
Looking at new technologies like AI, I think the last one we heard from yesterday was about generative AI, which I think we're going to hear more about today as well. So what's Coupa's vision for the future? You talked about the future of the industry, but what is Coupa's vision?
I think when you go back in time and you look at where we started, it was all around procure to pay and how do we capture the spend. Right. And we've focused extremely hard, and we've built our solution together with Amazon's vision of the best UI is no UI, and how do we capture all the spend. So we've been hyper focused on that, and then of course we started to build all these natively integrated applications around it, around sourcing and contracting and downstream analytics and contingent workforce and expenses and all these other elements to really start. Once you capture the spend, now you can influence the spend, you can amplify the spend. And when you can amplify the spend, now you become that competitive edge. And in the architecture, when you talk about AI, that's something, and I talked about it yesterday, real brief, is that has been at the heart of the company from day one. Like if you go to talk to Donna Wilczek, our incredible EVP now for product and innovation, she would say at the heart, and it was kind of like a pipe dream almost when we started, is you need a lot of data. And yes, AI is at the heart of the conference. Everybody talks about it, all the solutions out there.
How do we use it?
But in order for AI to work, you need a lot of data.
Yeah, you do.
Right? ChatGPT is great, but I mean, that scrapes the web, right? And that's not governed, structured spend. It comes from reliable sources with algorithms that I can trust. And we have $5 trillion worth of spend, and that's with a T, which makes it the fourth economy in the world.
That's a lot.
With 10 million suppliers. And that's real data from real companies doing real business. And if I anonymize that data, now I have a solution set that I can provide back to my customers, or our customers, our community, and give them prescriptive insights on, rec to PO cycle time, spend under contract, category insights.
Right.
I mean, the power that we now have, 5 years ago, we could not have done that.
Yeah.
It's impossible because you need a lot of data, right? And now we are getting to a point and a scale, and it grows by 1.5 to 2 trillion a year now. The data is just enormous. And now we can, with algorithms, provide back meaningful insights coming from reliable sources with algorithms that are meaningful to me as a practitioner.
Yeah, and you said some really, really relatable words, or you used some really relatable words. The words that we need to start using is influence, empower, trust,
Totally.
right? When we think about AI, when we think about working with a digital partner, those words
Absolutely.
are really, really important. You also said the word power, right? With the data, with procurement comes responsibility, right? As long as we have the data, we have the power, we can influence, we can empower our teams, we can empower the impact that we're going to make on the industry.
No, absolutely. And if you talk to your CISOs, your Chief Information Security Officer, or whomever that is in your companies, I'm sure if you go to that person and say, hey, I am about to go to ChatGPT to determine my strategic sourcing strategy for AWS, I'm sure that he or she might go, yeah, that's maybe not a good idea. If I use ChatGPT for my wife's birthday,
right,
on the other hand, which is, by the way, on Saturday in my case.
Happy birthday.
And I thank you. My wife's amazing. I do want to say it on the record. And I asked her, hey, my wife's birthday, here are the 5 things she loves. Can you give me some good examples on some birthday gifts that I could buy?
Right.
Use ChatGPT all day long.
Or a Let's Talk Supply Chain wrap.
Or that. That would make sense too. But when it's about, hey, I'm here to share my confidential information around a contract that I'm about to negotiate, and that's when your CISO probably is going to go like, yeah, probably not with ChatGPT.
Right.
Maybe we should, rethink that.
We need to make sure we're doing
we need to
it
make sure we
right.
do this in a structured, confidential, reliable, secure way. And that's where AI, of course, we're all trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah. So talk to us about some of the results your customers are driving by working with Coupa.
Yeah, look, I'm a still recovering forever accountant, so metrics and data and numbers are, I get excited about data, and we could talk about data all day long. I encourage everybody that's listening to download the Coupa's BSM KPI report. It's free, or drop me a note, mvk@coupa.com. I'm happy to share it. We have a lot of KPIs now, right? And I think the key KPIs that I always challenge everyone on is, do you know how much spend you have under contract, as an example, right? And at Coupa, you can get to 80-85% of the spend under contract. Why is that relevant? Because that spend goes to the companies that I have a relationship with. Right. I've gone through vetting. I've looked at their financials. I've looked at maybe their diversity strategy. I may have looked at their governance and those types of things that are really important. And so that's one example. Rec to PO cycle time, how quickly can I service the business? If you can do that in less than a business day, which is what our customers can achieve, now you're on to, hey, I'm here to accelerate the business rather than it takes me a week, I'm stuck in the ERP or maybe with some other antiquated process. Pre-approved spend is another one. You want to get to 80+% pre-approved spend that has gone through a cycle. I always say approving an invoice is a waste of time, right? I mean, you need to do it for
I remember that.
For governance reasons.
Stamping. And I had to sign it.
Signatures.
That might be dating me.
Some companies still do that, right? Yeah, I'm dating myself too. I'm a little older than you are, right? But anyway, so my point is there are some really key metrics that our customers achieve, and savings and acceleration, because you can influence spend before it incurs.
Yeah.
It goes to the right buying channels with the right suppliers, because you have a very seamless and easy way to support the business.
Yeah, and time is money.
Time is money.
Right? Time is
Absolutely.
money. Now, really quickly, before we wrap, let's talk about ESG and sustainability. How is Coupa helping your customers with those pressures?
Yeah, so we today already have well over 100 different configuration settings in our platform that allow our customers to influence spend before it incurs, and that it goes to the right providers, the right solution providers, whether that's pens and paper, or it might be your consulting, or it might be your software. But at least you can put triggers on those suppliers so that when somebody in the business raises a rec, you can divert that spend to the right provider that supports your ESG strategy. That could be environmental, but it could also be social.
Yep.
A lot of companies think about, and of course the governance is more the legislation bodies that are out there in the world that are also constantly changing and rapidly evolving. But especially when it comes to environmental, we often think about it as protect and preserve the planet, supply a code of conduct, all critical. But social procurement, for example, if you talk to Zurich, to Phil Soderberg, the CPO there, and he's one of my favorite CPOs in the world, to be honest, without discrediting the other ones. But they're doing a lot of great stuff around social procurement. And in order to execute against that, you need to have that platform that allows you to maneuver and drive spend to the right buying channels. And so social procurement is something that I also am starting to get really excited and passionate about. So there is a lot of ways that we can help influence and help support our customers in their strategies.